Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers Showcase video. In today's video I'm taking a look at one of your designs that you have linked me in the comment section of one of my videos. Now for today we're looking at another build based on one of the vehicles from the Command & Conqueror games. Is it Conquer or Conqueror? Whatever, you know what I mean. Anyway, this is the Nod mobile artillery, and it works bloody fantastic when you fire it. Yes, you can control that mortar, aim it up for more distance, aim it down for closer range, and it is just great fun to fire. But I'll come back to that a little bit later on. I won't take too long going around the outside, because there's not too much to actually talk about. So let's now just come around to the front. I'll bring up the F10 menu and find the mobile artillery, which weighs in at 999 small blocks. So for a vehicle that uses just under 1,000 blocks, it certainly is big for what it is. And yes, now it's time to go around the outside. So we have some mods on this. There are 4 mods on this, despite the workshop page saying there are 3, because you did miss out the, I think it was like command and co-pilot seat, which is needed to actually use the turret. But it's relatively easy to find. I'll put it in the description if you want to try it. At the front, we have got our standard Space Engineers cockpit with a lot of armoured decorative blocks going all the way along. We even have some spotlights and 2 regular interior lights below some small half blocks. Is that moving? I believe that could be moving. I'm sure it's fine. So above the cockpit, we've got our landing gear where our mortar can sit on it and be locked in place, so while you're driving around it doesn't flap around a bit and damage the vehicle. Just underneath where the mortar is, we've got our hydrogen engine, if you couldn't hear it already, and a battery to keep us going. Then coming around the side, we've got some lovely blockwork using that reddish and greyish colouring as the old Nod do with their vehicles, and we've got these wheels with these little caps on the end of them, which does look quite good. As we come along, we can see that the turret is slightly separate from the actual vehicle itself with that little gap bit there of another mod. Then as we come along the side there, we've got a piston on a modded conveyor hinge attached to a landing gear. So when you extend this out, the landing gear will go across and then bend down and hit the ground. This is so when you fire the mortar, you don't get flung backwards, but I'll show you that later on, just how much recoil that cannon can do. Around the back, we can see the ends of the landing gear. We've got 2 little lights there, which are brake lights. And around these fancy little blocks, our fuel port, which says ice only. Yes, because it's a hydrogen-powered vehicle, you can only put ice in it. But there is a battery there for emergencies. Up and above, we've got these lovely Armament Blogs. I've never used these myself in my own builds, but they do look great, don't they? With that weird little nut and bolt style knobbly bits. At the back here, we've got these 2 little oil barrel type things. Yes, they're very interesting type things. It sort of looks like something a catapult might fire at an enemy. Yes, they are rather nice for decorative blocks. And of course, up the top here, we've got our little aiming system. So there's the camera we can control, and we can move that up and down. And we have a little LCD screen there, which if you view from the camera, you can see the degrees of the mortar. So if you have more than one person using more than one of these vehicles, you can tell them the degrees that you're using to hit the enemy, and they can just copy that and fire with you. We then, at the top, we have quite a lot of fancy stuff, but not too much to talk about. It's just a great design. We have all these little blast door edges here, which are just where the barrel sits in, which can be raised all the way up thanks to another little conveyor hinge. And we have a little thing right here, which is a red knobbly bit, and below that is where a chair sits for you to get in. Inside this area, we got some very useful LCD screens. On the side here, we've got our degrees of the cannon and the approximate range at which it will fire. So if you were to aim at something and it said 400 meters, you know that you roughly have to do, say, maybe 3 or 4 degrees to hit them. And then across here on these 2 LCD screens, the right hand side is telling you how to use the gun, and the left hand side is the current degrees of the cannon. And above is of course the ammo shell. In here there's not too much else because you can't actually walk around, although it is a nice little cubby hole for you to be in. Then we can just come across to this side where there's absolutely nothing. It's just a small programmable block in here, just in its lonesome little cavern place. And that is basically it for this vehicle. It's a grand design for a mobile mortar, and although I'm not familiar with the game itself, I'm sure it looks exactly like it. But now it's going to be the fun part where I take control of my character and get into it. So coming over to here and getting in this cockpit, we have a few options, but none of them are for the cannon. No, this is more of a two-player vehicle because you would have one driving it and one controlling the mortar. But anyway, number 1, hydrogen engine on and off. And you see, we've got plenty of power from those batteries, but we can just keep it on there just to be safe. Number 2 is the spotlights at the very front there. Number 3 is for the parking brakes of the vehicle, so we don't have to press P, because if you press P, it's going to disconnect the mortar's barrel. Number 4 and number 5 are for the wheels, don't touch them. Number 6 and number 7 are for our little supports that come out the back. So we press number 7, which is going to extend them out, and then they fold down and will lock on the floor like so. So if I was to fire the cannon now, we would recoil back, but the landing gears would lock us in place and prevent us from moving. We press number 6 if we want them to be retracted back all the way in a neat little holding position. And number 8 is to unlock them if you need to skedaddle away from battle. Or tab number 2, 3, 4, nothing else, so we have to get out and come up here and go inside this seat. It's a little bit awkward to get into, but you can see it's quite forgiving to actually click on it. Once you press F, you can then see the little signs around you of all the important information. But what do we have here? Right, so number 1 is to fire. In fact, I should have probably retracted them first. I'd retract? I meant extend. Extend the back out. And then I'm going to get back into this seat. If I can. I've lost it. I said it was quite easy to get in. So if I was to press number 1, it would fire, but the gun is currently disabled until we press number 4. Pressing number 4 means we are good to go, so pressing number 1 will fire us, and there we go. We've just hit into those landing gear, which have prevented us from flying back. But as you can see, the recoil was enough to lift us off the ground at the very front there. So that is something to watch out for. But we can then press number 5, which will unlock the landing gear at the front, which means we can now turn this around. Using W and S, we can then raise and lower the mortar. And then number 2 is to view the camera. Viewing all the way down will show us our degrees. At the moment, it's at 13.29 degrees. And number 3 will tell you the target you're aiming at. So if I wanted to say, in fact, I'm going to need to move this forward. Just move forward, so I'm tilting down a little bit. There we are, that should be alright. Woof, what happened there? What? Oh, right, yes. Excuse me. Ah, yes. I forgot I turned the base hostile. So I'm just going to have to spawn in a new one. There we go. Right, let's just go and put this. I think it was sort of safe over here. I was to just plot this around. I think here is okay. It might go hostile there. There we are. So if I just go press number 7 now, let them retract. Then I'll just come over to this bit. There we are. Undo that. Then scan. My target's range, where I'm currently aiming, is 634 meters. So coming out of that and looking at my handy sign on the side here, I need to aim at roughly, maybe 6 degrees, I'd like to say. So let's go back into the camera and raise ourselves up to about there. So that should nail, if I fire, the base. Just over it, I think. Just need to lower it down a bit. That'll do. Wait for it to reload, and then I can press 1 to fire it. And I can turn this a little bit with my mouse. I think, let's scan that. That's about, in fact, I will need to put my crosshair on for this. Just so I know where exactly I'm aiming. Ah, there's the problem. I'm sort of aiming over there. I want to aim right that. So if that's to that over there, if I was to fire it to double check, that's actually a bullseye. Okay, never mind. I don't need the crosshair, but I'll leave it on for the moment. So to that target over there, that will be 626, which if I was to get out and look down here, that's about right, isn't it? Oh god, it automatically fired. Wait a minute, it's doing illegal stuff here. It's firing while reloading. Yes, this is how it works. We can just aim, say, I want to shoot that. That's about 669. I shouldn't need to adjust it, so I'm just going to fire it. There we go. There goes a projectile. Ooh, so close. I can't lower this anymore, I don't think. In fact, I can try it like that. I think I just hit the ground in front of me. Let's fire it again. Ooh, so close. So very, very close. Maybe raise it up a little bit. And fire when you're ready. Oopsie, yeah, accident fire. I think it's firing the animation but not the projectile until it's reloaded. And fire. Yay, bullseye. Ooh, that's pretty good actually. Let's try and aim for that. What is your range? 625. I should need to... Ooh, if that's over there... should be alright to fire it like that. There we go. Projectile. Oh, so close. So close. I think I need to lower it down a bit more like that. And then fire again. This is basically it. This is, I'd say, the end of the video. All I'm going to do now is just play with the mortar. And fire. Bullseye. Take that, pirate enemy ship. Yes, I even gave the ships to the enemies. Yeah, once you're done, you can just press F. It'll reset itself. And then you can just say, drop this down. Then you can just... Oh, God, it's firing still. Drop... Ah! What's going on? Just need to drop it down. When you're ready to lock, you get the opportunity. Lock it. Press 4 to turn off the turret to prevent any kind of misfiring. And then you can get in the cockpit. Undo that. Press 6. Undo the parking brakes and drive away. Hold on a minute. I turned you off. Uh-oh. That one turret is going to get me. Wait, how's this? Wait. How on earth did that happen? This thing is a bloody tank. Look at it. Look at the punishment this thing is taking. And is making a grand escape. I think I've lost control of the wheels though. But yes. Well, that was an interesting experience. Anyway, this is the Nord Mobile Artillery. If you wish to download and play around with it yourself, I highly recommend you do. Remember, you will need one extra mod, which will be below the link to this in the description below. So anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.